It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare young people in Kansas for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Kansas State High School Activity Association, what everybody knows is the KSHSAA or KSHSAA, is an organization that basically, oversees not only sports but activities within our state and the state of Kansas. And we truly believe in what the values of activities and athletics provide young people, but what they provide communities, what they provide schools, and what they provide, the student athlete throughout their high school, junior high careers, and beyond. Because in reality, when you talk about a community, and that's what these activities and sports do, they will build and provide a community something that they can truly stand by and support. And we truly believe in the values that you learn from these activities and take beyond your years as a high school athlete.
School activities are an exciting part of the growing up process, and they teach and help students more than I think they'll ever know. By participating in school activities, we have opportunities for young people to understand the importance of teamwork, to gain self-confidence, to see that they too can be a valuable part of society going forward. Students that are involved in student leadership programs, the KAY program that I work with, for example, they are developing an attitude for life, an attitude of I get to do things for other people, not because I have to, but I'm here and it just makes sense and it's the right thing to do.
Well, when I think of high school sports or high school activities, I think the first thing that comes to mind is the way it can develop a person, and especially a high school student, the characteristics that it provides individual and the valuable lessons, whether it's competing every day in practice, but also the lessons that extends through the classroom. We talked so much about activities or interscholastic activities as an extension of the classroom. And so that's what I think about high school sports. And also, if you put all those things together, the qualities that it brings to you, and if it leads to a championship, a state championship, then it's just that much more important.
Well, I am truly blessed. I have one of the greatest jobs in the world, especially in Kansas, being one of the administrators to get to see the culminating activities, all the hard work the kids have put in. So we're a little bit spoiled in that we go to the state events and see the culminating activity. All that hard work by coaches and officials and kids all through the year kind of comes to the end, and we're able to be a part of that.
I mentioned earlier the value of activities and athletics and what they provide the student athlete. It goes beyond, winning and losing. We're always going to have someone that wins, we're always going to have someone that loses. But the character of what an individual learns from these activities is how they know how to deal with winning and losing. And I think that's so important. And that's why, in our opinion, we are, quote, education-based activities and athletics. Because, if you are education-based and that's your main focus, then we're knowing that those individuals are getting more out of it than just wins and losses. If they're preparing them for life after high school, and I think that's the key to it all, because there's always going to be a difficult time. And hopefully you've learned how to handle defeat, because there's going to be times down the road where an individual may find it struggling in college with a class. How did they handle that defeat when they, had it in high school? Maybe they've grown from that and learned from it, so now they can be successful throughout the rest of the college experience. And then they get that first job. And what happens? We see it all the time that an individual may lose a job, You know, do they know how to get another one? Do they know how to get up, compete, and stand up and compete for another one? Because that's really what it's about. That's the lessons that you learn. Those are life lessons that I believe high school activities provide a young person.
Well, starting my 20th year here in the office, I have seen the growth of the Activity Association just 100 times more over in activities. For example, I do soccer in the office, and we had 1 state championship, and now we have 3 state championships, boys and girls. And so they've really grown. I'm fortunate enough that I get to do, as I said, soccer, swimming and diving, Scholars Bowl. I also do the student council, and that is one that is immensely exciting because you're back with kids. And sometimes that's the hard part, is in our jobs we do a lot of administrative stuff and don't get back to where the kids are, and that's what's most important, is having them be participants in their activities and being part of their teams and their clubs and their activity that they choose from.
One of the most honorable things we have in the office here is the NFHS wall behind me. These are Kansans that are members of the NFHS Hall of Fame. We have 10 members that have been elected to that Hall of Fame, and you can see probably there's only 9 pictures here, but most recently was Jackie Stiles, who was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2015. And what happens then is her picture is actually hanging up in the NFHS. Our main office is in Indianapolis. So after that year's over, it'll come back to our office and we'll proudly display it here. We have people like Jim Ryan, Nolan Cromwell, Lynette Woodard. So great Kansans that have contributed to high school sports, high school activities, and have made a name for themselves nationally through the things they've done after high school, but most notably during their careers in high school. So we proudly display these Kansans that have represented us so well.
With the sport of football, as we're coming to now, getting close to seeing the tournament, we're going to be looking at the end here where we're going to have a state championship that take place, Thanksgiving weekend, and it's an opportunity for kids to continue to see, what that's all about. And the thing about that is there's such history in our state. From the early state championships to when we went into district play, and now we're starting to see a change in the next cycle to where 6A, 5A is going to go a whole new format starting in 2016. So the history of our state is very good. If you look at some of the individuals, it's not very many states can say that they've got 2 individuals from the state of Kansas in the National Football Hall of Fame. Guys like Barry Sanders and John Riggins are both from the state of Kansas. So there's a great deal of history, and what we try to do is take a look at, and you can see that we keep what's called our Copelt Memorial, which is the this happens to be the 2014 state champions from last fall. So we want to give a picture of them, show you those individuals. Anybody comes to our office, they get an opportunity to look, and that goes from here, as you can see, from tennis to golf, and you got cross country, and here's football down here. So again, all we can do to keep the rich history of what we're trying to provide, if we can learn from history and continue to improve what we're doing, I think that's a goal for our organization to help young people be successful.
Since I've been at the association, certainly I've seen a lot of changes with the complexity of school activities. I just finished going to state golf tournaments, and when we started the girls golf program back in the 80s, certainly many of the girls golfed with the boys programs, and in the early 90s those girls started participating on their own teams, and now we see tremendous things with young ladies in that particular sport. The same would hold true for tennis. Our tennis tournaments have doubled in size, the number of students that get to participate. Back in the day, if we had 8 courts for a tennis tournament, we were really thinking we were living on cloud 9. And nowadays, we've got outstanding facilities in the state that are able to conduct these memorable events for these young people. Offering bowling now for the past 12 or 13 years has been a real exciting opportunity to get kids that have never been involved in school activities and their parents to see the value and the rewards of participation and representing and wearing that school uniform. Certainly girls volleyball has come a long way, from the underhand serve to the overhand serve to, rally scoring, the libero player. Girls playing volleyball today continue to do outstanding things and amaze me with the contributions and the skill level that they have. So I think involvement in the association through the years has just seen huge changes in athletic ability of our young people, in their desire to want to participate in those activities, and I think more now than any time, they probably see the rewards they're getting from their involvement in those school activity programs.
Scary part about that is somebody said, This is our 30th year for state soccer, for example. This is number 20 for me, so 2/3 of those state soccers I was the administrator of, and have seen the growth of that sport immensely, not just in Kansas, but nationally. One of my fondest memories is on student council, when we get to do a workshop and we see 350 kids come in and be nervous about leadership and trying to figure it all out. And by the time they leave, they don't want to leave. They want to be part of what they have created, and to see those leaders grow and figure out what the best avenue for their leadership is.
Well, I think the reason we enter into partnerships to broadcast our championship games is because it's such an honor for high school students that make it to a state tournament or state championship game, and the valuable experience that comes from that game or competition for their family members that can't be there, or their fans throughout the nation, the world, that aren't able to be there on that specific day, that we provide an opportunity for them to still take part and join in those valuable experiences that the player or the participant is having.
You know, having a company like Hindu Productions, you know, providing these opportunities for our kids, we look at that as a win-win. It's a positive, because not everybody has the opportunity to get to a game, especially one of our state championship games, because again, it's Thanksgiving weekend, so they may be out. Or, for example, our military, who are out serving our country and actually giving us our opportunities to have these type of activities, you know, because they're keeping us, you know, our freedom for us. We want to give them that opportunity to look back and watch. They can say, hey, look, my old high school is playing in this state championship football game. You know, it's an opportunity to watch, and now they can brag to all those that they're serving with and say, look, we're on television, or, you know, we're on the internet. And that's something for them to see and really feel proud of. And if we can provide a little entertainment for them, you know, through our productions and through the productions of Hindu Productions, what a positive, what a great experience. And again, kids love that, and they can look back and see that. Not only it's going to be archived, it's not like they can't, you know, they're playing, and now, you know, 3, 5, 10, 20 years from now, they can look back and say, hey, look what I was part of. So it's a great experience.
I have a great story on that one. The Lansing coach was overseas for 2 years, and they were televised on our network. And he was able to get up at like 2 in the morning and watch his kids swim at the state event. And he's there, and he would email me or he'd text me and he'd say how exciting to watch his kids participate and swim at the state event while he is serving the country. Like, he can't be there personally, but his heart and his eyes were watching, and it was really neat. And he is now back, and to see him on the deck at the state events, I always give him a big hug and thank him for his service, but also it was neat to be able to give him that opportunity.
Well, I think what we're trying to accomplish here is an avenue in which we can display the many talents of these kids for everyone, and not from an internet base, so everybody can get it, not just a cable subscription, but over the internet, so worldwide for free, so they can be able to be on, you know, the stage, be on the big stage for once, you know, not just for one person or for one class, but if the more we can get involved and spread across all our state championship sites, I think is what this partnership is about, so we can have a grasp on everybody and not just a certain select amount one year or another, but really get everybody involved, just so more and more kids are being displayed from their talents and the hard work that they've put into getting at that state championship.